the end of March. By the end of March, in April, I'll be something that I've never been before. I'm pretty confident saying that. Pretty confident. Yeah.
Anyone who knows you knows that you have plans. Levan is also, I think that he will be even probably better than before. But the only thing is that, like, we all have injuries, Devon. And he also experienced an injury, and he was smart enough to not to push it, not to rush it. He took his time. But where you are hitting and where he had the problems is the same point.
I would personally be extremely embarrassed if I lost a match where I had hand control.
Another, in my opinion, rather flagrant use of the move comes to us courtesy of Travis Bajent. He pulled the old javelin out of his bag of tricks in a match versus the notorious Michael Todd during the equally notorious, pseudo-cancelled WAL Finals of 2017. Although I think it's pretty obvious what Bajent was doing here, most of the online backlash went towards Michael Todd for his, in my opinion, pretty understandable outburst after the match. There have been others using this move, but in most cases, arm wrestlers in the public eye are smart enough to stay as far away from this one as they can.
You watch The Arm Historian?
Love that guy. Very thorough. Very.
And isn't he unique and isn't he talented? And the pieces that he put together, this last one on Engin, wonderful piece, beautifully animated, storytelling. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Loved him.
Very diligent.
Awesome.
Very timeless. Like, I feel like they're excellent pieces of work. Yeah.
I think he's really trying his best to put over a very balanced portrayal. Keep doing what you're doing, Arm Historian. I'm a fan, mate. Love what you do. Absolutely awesome.
John had agreed to arm wrestle 102 matches in a row, with any challengers being able to participate freely. Eager contenders were able to bid on any of the spots in line to face John in a silent auction, with many of them trying to get an edge over John by finding the perfect spot in order to beat him. Face him too early, and John might be too fresh. Face him too late, and he might already have been beaten. Despite strategizing, one after the other fell before. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Yes, it is me, the Arm Historian, in living flesh this time. How you guys doing? Moved into a new place, decided to try Basecamp for a change. Homer, this is not my first time face reveal. But it is on live, you're right about that. First time face reveal on live. I was purposely building tension. I was not purposely building tension, I moved into a new place and it was taking up a lot of my time. But now, here I am. Another Arm Historian live. I'll be doing a lot of these. Hey Al, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome everyone. Gert, how you doing, man? Zazuri, what's up? Good to see you guys. Might be a little bit of technical difficulties today as I'm still like getting set up here. But yeah, I'll try to make it a good one. Let's see, I'm also working on a couple of videos, so I kind of want to get to that. So probably won't be a super long live stream. But I'm kind of eager to talk about what's been happening in the arm wrestling world. Need to adjust this a little bit, maybe. Better. Pelican Swallow says, how far do you think someone like Brian can realistically progress in arm wrestling if he keeps showing commitment? Someone like Brian, I think the only limiting factor on someone with a strength pedigree like Brian and someone with a physique like Brian Shaw is probably his age. Yeah, I don't know how many like truly good years he has left in the sport. Probably 15 to 20 if we're being generous. So because I think his body went through quite a lot of wear and tear already as far as doing the strongman things. So yeah, I think his only limiting factor is his age. How long can he still progress in the sport? Other than that, the sky's the limit, right? Or at least it should be on paper. Al Omega Riches, nice place. Yeah, I like our place. It's probably not super long term, like not decades or something, but I like it. It serves a good purpose. And we got it set up pretty cozy. Just here at my desk and stuff, I kind of need to work on a little bit. But it's done for the most part. What has been happening, says Tomer? I don't know much drama has happened. All I know is that Dennis pushed back his comeback to late 2026 and Devon ducked Vitali again. Yeah, it's not like the things that's been happening in the arm wrestling world aren't as dramatic as they perhaps were in the last weeks. But yeah, still a couple of things happening. Plus, I kind of want to take a look with you guys at the new East versus West card, because it did release the full card, I think. By the way, let me know if the audio is fine. I'm gonna play some music too. Turn that down on my end. And then yeah, you guys should let me know if the audio is fine. That's also going to be part of the stream today. It's kind of making sure all the levels are correct. The webcam works as it should. And then yeah, next time if I decide to do a couple more face cams, might have a green screen set up and stuff like that, and I'll make it look a little better. This is all I have to do for now. Tomer says, oh yeah, and Devon is confirmed to have also taken LSD for his Kurdecha match, confirmed by Eddie Hall's opponent. Don't know the name. Interesting, okay. Yeah, Devon kind of alluded to the fact that he took LSD in, I think, 3 different matches. So the Kurdecha match does make some amount of sense. Readjust my mic a little here. Sorry for any unwanted sounds. Al Omega Rich's great voice. Who you talking about? You're talking about me. I appreciate it. Rubert says, good evening, arm wrestlers. Hey Rubert, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I'm also wearing an arm wrestling shirt for the occasion. Don't know if you guys can see it. Evolution of Man. The final step, of course, being straight to the table. Let me pull up the East versus West card. Oh, Canadian bro, check your stories. I'll take a look. Which ones should I check here, Al? On Instagram? I'll let you guys follow along, hang on. Tomer says, does that Filipino you aced have a YouTube channel? Yeah, and I didn't ace him. He aced me. He beat me pretty handily. Really strong guy, especially for his weight. I outweighed him by quite a bit. He does have a YouTube channel. It's called Arm Nation, or Sean Chispa, which is his name. So yeah, definitely look him up. His YouTube channel is quite big. It's bigger than mine, so yeah, a lot of Filipino arm wrestlers or people who are into arm wrestling in the Philippines. Omega Richard, someone made fan art of you. Interesting. Wonder who. Trying to look it up here. Must have been a while ago, right? You can send me a link if you can, or send it to me on Instagram in a message, Al, if you have the time. Hey Neil Pickup, how you doing, man? Is that just a flying visit, mate? Hope you and all of the Arm Historian fans are happy and healthy. WAF World is where arm wrestling's attention is currently. Great to see so many talented youngsters coming through. Yes, I've been kind of keeping up with some of the WAF matches. I know the youths and the juniors, I believe, have happened. Yeah, and some good matches, some awesome matches. Can't wait to see the rest of the WAF. I might even make a compilation video as I usually do. But yeah, that is happening. Hang on, let me... Upnor, just check mentions from Upnor. Upnor. Oh, damn, okay. The guy drew this himself. Wait, let me get you guys to follow along. There we go. So yeah, this is done by Upnor. Awesome. Yeah. Hadn't seen this, thanks for letting me know. I'll report it as inappropriate straight away. No, I love this. Yeah. Thanks so much, Upnor. I haven't heard of this guy, but yeah. Awesome. I'll definitely... yeah, I'll definitely share it as a story too. After the stream. Yeah, so thanks for letting me know. Love it. Tomer says, watching WAF really had me annoyed. They call it drug tested. Some of these Georgians were a little juicy, I thought, especially Bacho. Bacho is looking big. I'm not going to say anything about his potential PED use as I have no idea. But yeah, he was looking big. And I do agree that for being a tested league, I have my doubts sometimes about their policies. It is true that a lot of people, even pullers you've heard of and that are very prominent now, have at one point or another in their careers been banned from WAF. So they do test sometimes. I just don't quite know how frequently or what kind of substances they test exactly. So yeah, judging by some of the people that are still entering the competition, probably not so strenuous, right? Their testing. I don't know. So yeah, Sean Chispa is the name of the guy I faced in the Philippines. He has a YouTube channel that is quite big. Yeah, this is him. Really strong guy. Yeah, really nice guy too. I'm a big fan of him, a comic artist, says Al Omega Rich. I thought you guys knew each other. No. I've never heard of him. Richard 1. He has quite a following. Yeah, never heard of him. But that is crazy. They actually went through the effort. I wonder if he could send me this in high resolution. I'd love to use it. Maybe in a live stream or something. But yeah, awesome. Tomer says, drug testing in arm wrestling, a bad path to go down, especially when you start lying about it. Morozov a year ago competed at a drug-tested comp. Yeah. I think it's true that it's not really viable to do it as a competition, especially if you want to attract some of the biggest names. but I do think it is something that is an inescapable topic of conversation for every arm wrestler within the next decade or so, especially if the sport keeps growing and if we want it to grow. I think it's inevitable. Yeah, I do think it will happen eventually. Leagues will have to start doing it more and more, especially if they want to attract potential mainstream sponsors, but yeah. To be honest, I don't know if arm wrestling will ever even get there. To be completely straight with you guys, I have no clue. Like, I don't make any illusions about the sport will keep growing ad infinitum and we'll see mainstream success. I don't know if that will be the case. I hope it will be, and I'll try to contribute to it, but sometimes I have my doubts. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy making content about it, or participating in it, or consuming content about it, stuff like that. Yeah, I still do, of course. Even if it stays as small as it is now, I would still do it. Talking about some of the content, there's going to be a video releasing pretty soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm going to try to be a little more active with making videos, also doing these live streams consistently again. Still have to finish the fantasy stream, like the fantasy league we started a couple of weeks ago, but it'll happen. Let's take a quick look at the arm wrestling subreddit. What's going on there? Tomer says, arm wrestling needs to find its niche. The truth is, it's a macho sport. People want to see juiced up monsters battle it out. No surprise why Dennis and Levon were so popular. Yeah, I can definitely see that perspective. On the other hand, I don't know if the macho, to use your turn of phrase, if the macho image of arm wrestling is really something we need to necessarily foster, you know what I mean? I think you lose some people by doing that. Which isn't to say, like, it's still a strength sport in a way, right? Strength plays a big part of it, so I definitely get that angle, and I wouldn't play down that angle, but I think macho isn't really necessary. I don't know, I've always considered arm wrestling as, in a way, a thinking man's sport. There's so many different ways to approach an arm wrestling match, and so much technique actually goes into it that I don't necessarily associate it with macho, at least in my own circles. It's also, I think, a really bad approach to take when you go to a training. Yeah, I think a lot of people get hurt when they arm wrestle for the first time and can't let go of their ego. Al Omega Rich says there's a couple of different ways it can get there. Yeah, I'm sure there's paths to mainstream success. Tomer says, I see what you mean. I don't think we should go down the route of two lumberjacks at a bar setting an argument, but we should embrace the macho element, I think. But yeah, I love the technical and thinking. Yeah, I definitely agree that like the freak factor, something like that, and two strong guys facing off or women facing off is definitely something it's unavoidable in arm wrestling, right? So I agree that we should play into it to a degree, for sure. But we should strive to also encourage good sportsmanship. I think that doesn't mean no trash talk or anything like that. There's a place for that, of course, as in any combat sport, but yeah. I think we should try to encourage some kind of, I don't know how to even call it, encourage as many people as possible to be able to join the sport and enjoy arm wrestling in their own way, right? I mean, there's really aggressive football players, and there's more laid back people, there's people playing football just with their friends in a park or people playing it at the highest level. And I think that's one of the main appeals of a sport like that, right? That it welcomes people from every walk of life. Just pick up a ball and start playing football. In the same way, we should maybe strive to make arm wrestling similarly appealing for people to just any walk of life be able to get into arm wrestling. Because it is, in my opinion, it is a very rich sport as far as technique and proficiency and training and stuff goes. There's a lot of routes you can take to become a good arm wrestler. Here it says, weird, my chat log disappeared and now it's back. That's good at least. Tomer says, yeah, for me sportsmanship is really important to me as I respect and kindness. I have been known to hate on Devon for this, which I won't deny, to be honest. You can hate on people all you want. I try not to do that too much myself within the community, but I definitely see where you're coming from on that. Like I said, I think there's a time and a place for everything, and I've spoken pretty openly about my thoughts on some of Devon's antics, so yeah. Probably people are sick of hearing about it already. Here Dylan says, sportsmanship is key in his opinion. A sport fit for kings deserve kings, yeah. Neil Pickup says, arm wrestling is incredibly diverse and there are many routes to success. Hashtag pick your poison. Yes, good point, Neil. And I think that's one of the things that appeals to me so much in arm wrestling, because throughout my life I haven't been involved in that many sports. I've enjoyed playing some sports, but I haven't been that involved or that deep into any sport before I got into arm wrestling. And I think one of the main things there is I could approach the sport in whichever way I wanted, take it at my own pace, and focus more on technique first, getting down all the moves, and then when I felt like it, I progressed automatically into training, actually specifically for arm wrestling. So yeah, that's an aspect of the sport that I greatly enjoy. You can just get into it at whatever intensity you want. You can get into it with your friends, just arm wrestling. You don't even need an arm wrestling table necessarily. As long as you try a little bit to keep safe, you can just arm wrestle with your friends without any kind of equipment and never entering a tournament, and still have fun and learn the techniques and get better that way, become a really good arm wrestler in time. Or you can take it as seriously as you want and really start doing arm wrestling specific lifts, buy a good arm wrestling table, start going to a club, entering comps, and try to climb to the highest level. So that's one thing I really love about this sport. There's a really low barrier of entry that I think you rarely find in a lot of other sports. And if you do find it in other sports, usually they're pretty mainstream sports, so yeah. Homer says, I think Levon captures it perfectly. The screaming and roaring is there, the strength is there, the technique and precision is there, and the respect and kindness and humility is there. Yeah, I like Levon a lot. As like a representative of our sport, as the very best in our sport. I think he's a fine champion. Maybe to some people, not the most enigmatic man alive. But I think in general he embodies those qualities you just listed, Tomer, so I do agree there. When I think of other pullers throughout history, I've been doing some research on Andrei Pushkar, and I believe Pushkar was another one that embodied many of those same qualities. Pushkar seemed like a pretty stoic guy, but he could release tension during a match and get really riled up sometimes. Was a very explosive puller, but also, as far as I could tell, was respectful and really into like the science behind the sport and training for the sport and developing new like training methods for the sport. So I think Pushkar is another one of those people that could have been a really great representative of our sport. Unfortunately, yeah, impossible now. But interesting to think about, for sure. Here Dylan says, I just don't personally want to see arm wrestling turning into WWF. I love theater, but all in its rightful place. I agree there. If people want to put on fake arm wrestling matches, they're free to do so, of course. Personally, for me, I don't think that's the way forward in the sport. If it helps get more people involved with the sport in general, I can only encourage it, but you won't see me in a WWF style arm wrestling match weekly. There have been quite a few lately. Tomer says, I think of arm wrestling as like a character roster in a game. Each character is different personality and skill set. I guess every sport is like that, but the analogy feels more relevant here. Kind of think I messed up the first line, my typing's bad today. No worries, man. I get you, Tomer, yeah. I can see that. Shkar too, yeah, indeed. Al says, Lavan is kind. That's true. Kind is nice, but maybe not so appealing for clicks and stuff. I don't know. To some people. Dylan, thanks for reminding people to hit the like button. Appreciate that. Tomer says, Pushkar, I think, actually gave some of his paycheck of his winning at the 2014 Russia A1 to Dennis because he knew that he beat Dennis after Dave tired him out. So yeah, very respectful and aware. Tragic. Could be wrong though, I need to double check. Yeah, I'd love to see a source on that. Like I said, I'm currently researching Andrei Pushkar. So yeah, those kinds of stories, I love them and I think they're relevant when I'm making a story about somebody's career and life in a way. So yeah, definitely, if you've got more anecdotes like that, or you know where that's from, or you can source it, would be awesome. Lat Rousseau says, who dis? Welcome, Lat Rousseau, arm historian, of course, talking to you. Al Omega Riches loved seeing Eddie Hall in arm wrestling. Hope Haftor joins next. Yeah, I think in general the strongman coming into arm wrestling can only benefit us, right? I've seen a couple of videos from like strongmen in the community, pretty well-known strongmen that have been kind of speaking out against arm wrestling to Brian, which is interesting. You would expect two niche sports to kind of support each other a little more, maybe. Hey Chuck, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Let me grab a quick drink here. BTNT says, any reason you're showing your face now? I already did a face reveal on my channel. I know not too many people saw that, but I already did a face reveal there. So I figured I might as well try doing a couple live streams like this. See if maybe engagement goes up or people prefer it. I don't really have a preference either way. I think it might be useful in some cases. When I would actually go live during a training or want to demonstrate some things on the table maybe. But in general, I don't have a lot of preference either way, so I'll just try it a couple of streams, and if engagement and viewership goes up, then I might keep doing it. Lat Rousseau says, speaking against arm wrestling, why? Because of recent drama or what? Am I speaking against arm wrestling, Lat Rousseau? I don't think I am. I don't think I've ever really spoken against arm wrestling, as far as I can tell. Tomer says, I'll try to find a source, but who knows, I could just be going crazy. Yeah, all good, man. If you didn't actually do that, that's fine too. I'll definitely look for it myself too, after the live stream. Chuck, man, I hope you're doing well. I haven't been active in the Discord lately, but yeah, that's gonna change very soon. I'm in a new place now. I just moved, so Yeah, it's been kind of hectic lately. Ah, okay, you're asking about strongmen. Yeah. Hang on. I'll see if I can pull it up here. If I can still find it. I saw it on the subreddit, but what was his name? Was it maybe like PA something? Is that possible? A really buff dude who was in Strongman. But it's been a while since I saw it on the subreddit, so yeah, I might have to scroll down like way too much. E.A. Dwyer, yeah. That was the one. I'll see if I can find it maybe on YouTube. Sorry about that. My headphones died and my music started playing through the speakers. Apologies. Let me know if you guys can still hear the music. Should be able to, I think. Let me see if I can find the clip I was talking about here. Might have been like a clip from his live stream or something, I don't know. Yeah, I can't really seem to find it on YouTube. If someone has it by chance, you can link it to me on Instagram or something. And I'll play it on stream. But it was basically him saying Brian Shaw should never have put arm wrestling in the same event as strongman. Arm wrestling isn't really worth it. That was what it came down to. Let's see if I can find it here. Hey Al Neri, what's up man? Good to see you. Welcome. Chuck says, by the way, Back Guy did video about Devin Lorette. Nice to see more video creators getting interest in arm wrestling. Yeah, I'll check that out. I haven't seen that yet. Spanner says, PA Dwyer, he hates on everything, so not a person to take seriously. Okay, good to know. He's an idiot if it's him, says Spinner. Okay. That's good. Yeah, he was pretty negative, which, you know, could be his true opinion, but it could be just farming clicks by being controversial. Right, we were going to look at, let's see here, the East versus West card, right? Like I said before, it's not going to be a super long live stream. Is East vs West website still down? No way. Still down. Is it? That's crazy though. Okay, so apparently website is still down. Do they have a new website or what's the deal there? Chuck says Brian losing money on the event is very sad. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey Tomer, yeah, your message didn't pop up, but you can send it to me on Instagram or even Discord or anything like that if you're on there. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow links to like chatters to post links, which I kind of get, you know, but yeah. Alneri, yeah, I do believe Brian lost money on the event, unfortunately. I still think in general, like, the code for making arm wrestling events a net positive financially still hasn't been cracked. I don't know if that's because they're overpaying athletes, not selling enough tickets, not selling enough pay-per-views, overpricing pay-per-views maybe. Very hard to say, but I don't think the formula on that has been cracked yet. Hey, thanks Tomer, appreciate it. Alneri says, but Engin hiring bounty hunters hacking the website is crazy. That's alleged, right? Or has something come out of that I'm not aware of yet? Spinner or Spanner says, well, did he lose money or was his profits reduced so he put in more money for the athletes? I have no idea about the details. I don't know if Brian Shaw spoke on those details yet. No inside knowledge from me on that in any state. That Rousseau says, I hear he didn't get the sponsors he got in previous events. Alan Megarich says, wonder why sponsors dropped out. I don't know. I think, yeah, probably it's a lack of knowledge in general about the sport of arm wrestling. I still see it when I talk to people about what I do in my free time and stuff, and if I do any sports and I mention I do competitive arm wrestling, I still get weird looks from most people. Gotten better, but yeah, still I get a couple of weird looks from time to time. So yeah, I think it's just in general people not knowing. Let's see if I got the message already, or if you did you put it on the Arm Historian Discord, or did you PM it to me, Homer? Spanner says strongman Mitchell Hooper was there, that there was less foot traffic, boots, etc. So it's like in general, like the strongman event didn't do as well. That kind of makes sense too, right? Because I feel like strongman has been kind of on a downward trend as far as popularity goes. Or maybe I'm missing the mark completely on that, but that's kind of the feeling I get during the last couple of years. When some bigger figures have taken a step back from the sport. But I might be wrong on that. I'm not like an insider on strongman. Okay, I appreciate it, Tomer. Let's take a look at what D.A. O'Dwyer has to say about arm wrestling, shall we? Oh. I'll turn up the volume a little so you guys can hear along with me.
Video.
What's up, guys? Hope you all are doing well. I want to recap the 2025 Shaw Classic 2 Strongest Arm on Earth collab with East vs. West 19.
Now, I think this part here is one of the reasons he didn't make money. He's trying to make the Strongman Classic something it isn't, which is an arm wrestling competition. No one gives a fuck about arm wrestling. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, can we not just tune in and watch some strongmen? I think he's just trying to do too much. I think if he focused more on the strongman and the strongest man on earth, he would make a lot more money. There'll be a lot more people tuning in. Now, Brian Shaw, I hope you're watching this because I have genuine good points that'll help make you money.
Okay. I think you've heard enough. I also don't want to get a strike by watching this. So, yeah, that's basically his opinion on it. Kind of soured. Kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. But mainly on this guy specifically. I personally felt hit by the Mitchell Hooper controversy. I don't know about any Mitchell Hooper controversy, Chuck, so fill me in on it. Something bad happened? Hey, Out of Tune, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Tomer says, I think the opposite. Ever since Thor's 501, 505, and now 510, the sport has been going crazy. Okay, interesting. Out of Tune says, Ober said East vs. West had double the amount of pay-per-views it had last time. It would have to have been a success for East vs. West. Yeah, of course you don't know what kind of money went into it this time. But double the pay-per-view views is, a very good thing, of course. Thor's record is insane. Yeah, it really is insane. For sure. Get Thor into arm wrestling. Yeah, I think Thor would be a great addition to arm wrestling, but I don't think it'll happen anytime soon if it hasn't happened already. I know we did a couple of collaborations with people who were involved with arm wrestling. Sorry, music super loud, right? Apologies. So like I said, I know we did a couple of collaborations with people who were involved in arm wrestling, but yeah. Also, missing Thor and Hooper didn't help the event. The arm wrestling side may not have had a great positive effect, but not a great negative effect either. It would be really strange if people like in the strongman community decided not to support the event just because there's also an arm wrestling event attached to it. Yeah, I think that would be very weird because in general, I think the two sports can only serve to lift each other up, right? I think. Out of Tune says Thor could have went for 520 without a sniffle. Made it look so easy, I still can't believe what we saw. Yeah, I definitely agreed there. It looked really easy. Although the aftermath, he was quite injured, or at least looked like it. Lagia says that guy seems like a salty rage baiter. Yeah, kind of. I agree. Chuck says, I'm curious what motivated Thor to get back to strongman and chase that deadlift. Is it really strongman? You know what I mean? Is it powerlifting? I don't know. Latrisos says music going loud. Yeah, I do apologize. I noticed a little too late. Music is going ham for sure, says Craig H. Yeah, my apologies, guys. It is a new setup. I recently moved house and yeah, I still have to get used to this new setup a little bit. He peddles hate about P.A. Dwyer. Okay, yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. I didn't have that context. Chuck says Mitchell Hooper basically cheated on his wife, which highly conflicts his family man persona. Interesting, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I never got the... Yeah. I don't know. I don't care that much. It is like, I think most top athletes, especially ones with a big online following, present an image, right? I think that goes for almost every top arm wrestler too. That might not be as family friendly as you think. And that includes people that already aren't super family friendly, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think there's a lot of that going on, so it doesn't really surprise me or strike me in any particular way. Put the link to the stream on Arm Wrestling Uncensored, is Al Neri. Feel free to do that, Al Neri. Personally, I don't visit Arm Wrestling Uncensored that quickly or really contribute a lot to that community, so I don't want to like spam a link to my channel anywhere, really. I don't really go for that often. Hey, the Claymore, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Been a long time. Hope you're doing well. How are the arms feeling, Claymore? Thor actually did some arm wrestling videos with Michael Todd. He also did some stuff and did some stuff with Larry Wheels. Yeah, I do remember that. Thor's father even arm wrestled, I think, before those collabs. So Thor definitely knows about the sport for sure. The biggest problem was Hooper condemning a colleague in public for cheating while he was doing the same thing to his wife in the meantime. Yeah, that is very hypocritical. Tomer says, no arm historian, he did that deadlift in a strongman event. There was a whole event and a deadlift happened to be one of the lifts. Thor won the whole event though, it was strongman. Interesting, okay. Yeah, that's context I was missing. I just saw clips of the lift. So yeah, thanks for filling me in there. So yeah, Thor did get back into strongman. Maybe it's just him trying to get as much out of the sport while he still can. Is there any young person who are potential superstars in arm wrestling? I'm not sure Auden has the charisma of his dad. Maybe Riekert. Yeah, Riekert is one of those people that might be the case. I think maybe... It's difficult, you know, because you need a good combination of skill and strength and a unique character. And I think there's a lot of young pullers who have skill and strength in spades, but are still kind of looking for their voice, if that makes sense. I think Reno Masic is a great guy. I met him in real life, and he was charismatic, he was really nice, so I definitely think the potential is there. It's just a matter of him developing a little bit more, I think. But that's one of the people I think of when I think of like young prodigies that would be like a front runner for the sport. Or like a potential superstar, to use your term of phrase there. Lagia says, Riekert is awesome, he's such a great addition to the sport. Yep, I agree. Really happy he's in the sport. For sure, I like Riekert, hope he stays healthy and can climb the ranks indeed. The Claymore says, I feel okay, kids back to school now, so early nights. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, school started again. Chuck, sorry about that. Chuck says, what does Chuck say? Mitchell Hooper. No, I already read that. But Chuck says, I was watching him quite regularly and didn't know about that, only learned about it from random Reddit moments. That stuff. The Claymore says, I feel okay, kids back to school, already read that. Arm wrestling will die when Devon retires. Schoolboy versus Auden is not enough to draw the public for a pay-per-view buy-in. I can see where you're coming from. And I do think when Devon eventually steps away from the sport or gets too old for the whole online thing, he might potentially leave a void in that way. On the other hand, I think people will come and go, as they have since the start of the sport, and especially online, I think. By the time Devon will either fall off or stop producing content or as much content, other people will fill that void automatically. I think it's just inevitable. As long as the sport stays somewhat popular and has an online community pushing it to a degree, I think it's almost impossible for there not to be other people like Devon Larratt that will fill that void. That's what I think. You can't really put the genie back in the box, you know what I mean? I hate Riekert just from pure envy about his strength, says Chuck. Yeah, I think a lot of people agree there. I wonder if Leonidas will come back. I think he's still pretty involved with the sport, right? Might be taking a little break, but I think he's still into arm wrestling as far as I can tell. Chuck really needs to go to sleep. Get to sleep, man. Thanks for dropping by. Always enjoyed talking with you, Chuck. Have a good night. Tomer says, wanted to shut Eddie Hall up, I think, and that's a perfectly noble reason. I know you're usually meant to support your countrymen. In this case, I'm 100% on Thor's side, better than Eddie's. Yeah, there's like this ongoing feud between those two guys, right? Camille and Rostam recently sparred/trained together. Yeah, love to see those kind of things. Top athletes should train more with each other, I think. There's a lot of sandbagging going on and kind of hiding training styles from each other, and I don't really see that as a positive for the sport, but I understand why some athletes do it, of course. Al Omega Riches, are you checking out the card? Yeah, good points. Jesus. I need more people like Al who put me back on track here. Let's see, the site is still down, so unless anyone has another website for East versus West, I guess the next best thing is Facebook, or where do they post their cards now? It's so weird that their website is still down. Surely they have like a replacement already up, right? At a different address. Yeah, here we go. I found it on Facebook, of course. That's another thing. I wish arm wrestling wasn't so prominent on Facebook. I don't use that platform at all, so yeah. Just for purely selfish reasons, I wish it wasn't so prominent on Facebook. But here we go. The card of East versus West 20. Crazy to say. We're at edition 20 already. I remember when I started this channel, I think we were at, what, edition 4 or something? Like East vs. West 4, I think. But yeah, crazy to think it's already 20. Camille is solid number 2 on the left hand in Poland. Okay. I feel like that's a diss, right? I feel like that's a diss. Al says the domain change. It must have, right? Your website still isn't up, at least for me. East vs. West Sports is a new website. Okay, I'll check that out. So they never got the domain name back, is what I'm assuming. KL says, I saw Leonidas do a arm wrestling vid with a German YouTuber pulling people on the street in a city. Interesting. Yeah, I might do something like that myself in the not too distant future. There's kind of an opportunity for me to do that at a fitness convention. So yeah, I might be doing a beat arm historian at arm wrestling at a fitness convention, no less. So that's something, right? To be true, Eddie Hall's 500 kilogram deadlift is like the most epic lifting video ever. He does go all out. You say a lot about Eddie Hall, but he did go all out in that lift. Tomer says arm wrestling won't die because Devon isn't the most popular. Dennis's channel Body Mania, essentially his training channel, has 3 million subs. More than anyone, so Dennis is the most popular. Does his arm wrestling content get similar views to his training video content? I wonder. Devon, I believe, is closer to stepping away, says Spinner, and many of the pushed guys just aren't next level. Something throwing tantrums on stage is character. Yeah. Devon has shown some signs of wanting to step away from the sport. That is true. Devon isn't retiring in the next 15 years, says Lagia. He might not be. I have a hard time imagining that too, Devon stepping away from the sport. Bye-bye, Chuck. Nighty night. But yeah, this is the card. Lalating versus Cadorette. as their main match, which I think is a fine match. I would think Laleitin has it in the bag, but Jerry has a tendency to surprise people sometimes, so I think it's a fine match. I think I said this before on Reddit when they posted this. In general, I feel like it's a fine card. Nothing wrong with it. I see someone said here on Facebook, no Devon, so no one cares. This event will be shit compared to the Shaw Classic. Devon is the face of arm wrestling for half the world. Without him, or keep hating on him, and the sport goes back to the shadows of sport, like race walking. There's Josh Chase on Facebook. Another person says here, I want a promise to see Dev and Levon grip up right, or even better, practice pull left. So it seems like a lot of these comments are talking about Devon. I'm not watching without Devon, which is crazy to me, right? Like, it's hard to imagine these people speak for the majority of arm wrestling fans, but it is like quite striking how like most comments are about Devon, it seems. Where is Devon? He does have a big following. Latrusso says, I don't know that Jerry is in his best form these days. Hopefully I'm wrong. I hope he is. I hope he is. Al Neri says, if Morozov got a first round win against Vitali, then it just takes a good start for Jerry to get a 1 round win for certain. What will be the outcome? If Jerry gets his position, it's a win. You can kind of point to the Dave Chafee versus Laleitin match, right? If Dave is able to press Laleitin, flop wrist press Laleitin, surely Jerry Caderet is able to do the same, right? On the other hand, maybe because of that match, Laleitin learned a lot about facing flop wrist pressers, especially the ones with a big frame, and kind of adjusted his training, and will now have a very easy time with a puzzle he essentially already solved. So yeah, hard to say. Genuinely insufferable comments, says Flagia. Yeah, I get what you mean. It is kind of disheartening to see a little bit. Sago versus Chafee, another match. Might be a good one. I'm loving Chafee in this new weight class. Might just dominate everyone. I'm very curious to see. Hutchins versus Zirakashvili, of course. Match number, I don't even know how many times they faced now. But that's a fine match, I guess. Kind of getting sick of it. Petrenko versus Chikadze. Yeah, like both of these guys. Probably give the edge to Petrenko, I would think. Although Chikadze might surprise people like he did versus Matt Mask. Vasconcelos versus Barbora Bachova for the left arm openweight world title. Interesting one, especially since it's on the left. Would expect Barbora to win though. Jacques versus Rositz. On the left arm. Isn't this like a gimme for Jacques? Or at least it should be. I know Toms has been doing pretty well on the WAF stage, but are these guys close? I seem to remember like a year or so ago, Rositz actually beating Jacques, right? In one of those matches, or making it very close. I can't quite remember. Imagine Nugo wins, yeah. Uncle Todd and Zira again, indeed. Daria Khan versus Jablonski on the left arm. Interesting match. 115 kilograms, left arm. How much does Camille weigh? Is 115 kilograms just super heavyweight, or what's the deal with that? Because It says 150 kilograms, but then above that it says super heavyweight match. That doesn't really make sense to me. Because yeah, the next match, which is Kalinichenko versus Matt Mask on the left, 115 kilogram heavyweight match. So maybe a typo or something, I don't know. Maybe just being weird with it. Talking about that match, might be a good match. I don't know how either of these guys are on the left. I don't think Matt Mask is good on the left. At an elite level. I might be wrong there. Tarasatis versus Ustinov on the right arm. Our lightweight match. That might be a good one. Might be a banger. I think a lot of people have Tarasatis as the favorite, which is fair. But Ustinov might make it close. Might even win. Pietro Marharint versus Yoshinobu Kanai in the light heavyweight class. So that's 105 kilograms up to 105 maximum on the right arm. Interesting. Very interesting match. Both these guys get showcased way too little in my opinion. They both deserve a lot more matches, so I'm happy they're getting a match. Not necessarily happy they're facing each other, but might be good. Who knows? One of those wildcard matches, I think. If Irakli loses, he has to retire. If Irakli loses, he has to wear men's jeans. He does love his skinny jeans, that's certainly true. Babayeva versus Ersen. No clue. If someone in chat knows, fill me in. And then Philip Larsen versus Battaglia on the right arm as another super heavyweight match, which might be good. I know Battaglia is really good. Don't sleep on this guy. And of course, Philip is trying to climb the ranks and doing it in very quick fashion, so it could go either way, in my opinion. Philip might be in for a rude awakening, or he's just super strong and beats Battaglia easy. Gertillen says, can I ask something irrelevant? How does this experience system work in chat? Yeah, so it's the top fans thing, right? And it's very weird because... Hang on. I'm seeing right now... Phil Woody UK is number 1. Top fan right now in chat. Even though I haven't seen one single message of Phil. So what does that tell you about this experience system? Really weird. Number 2 for me is you, Gert, with 150 experience. So yeah, it's kind of a way, I think you guys can access it too. It's like a way to see who interacts most with the stream. And somehow Phil Woody has taken the lead without dropping a single message in chat. Very weird. I think it kind of, like if you do a super chat, you get a lot of points. If you become a member, you get points. If you subscribe, I think you get points. Maybe not. Don't quote me on that. If you message frequently in chat, you get points. I wish there was a good way to show it on live stream itself. Like a leaderboard, something like that. But unfortunately, I haven't found one yet. I also haven't looked a lot, but yeah, I haven't found one yet. Phil is just that good, yeah. Hey Irakli, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. The main events should always be best of 7. Yeah, I don't disagree with that necessarily. I like me some best of 7s. Although I think in general, arm wrestling could be served well by having some shorter events. I've always been a big proponent of shortening the events and aiming more for like 5 good quality matches instead of, how many are these? 3, 6, 9, 12 matches. Yeah, 12 is right on the border for me because that means the event will probably take 6 hours, maybe longer, maybe a little shorter. Hard to say, but that is quite a marathon event. Hey Tony Rizzo, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome. Coming in at the tail end of the stream. I think that's about it for this week. Expect me again next week, Sunday, same time, same place. Expect some videos to come out soon. I'm working on a really good one, I think. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been really awesome. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm gonna do these face cams a little more frequently in the future, just to kind of check out if engagement and viewership goes up when I'm doing that. And also to maybe get in some live trainings, something like that would be cool. Other than that, thanks for hanging out. Get your butts over to Neil Pickup's channel, who should be going live with the fix in about 10 minutes from now. I'll probably be there in chat hanging out a little bit while I'm editing. And other than that, thank you again for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. Gateway says your voice suits the arm better. That's fair. I still have a little arm here talking. Here you go. Is that better, Gateway? Thanks for hanging out. Anyways, guys, I do appreciate it. Quick shout out to all our members. Thank you so much. Your support means a lot. And until next time, Arm Historian, out of here.